Welcome to Fresh Perspectives Only. In this feature, we're talking to Matt Mason and Jason Rosenstein. Matt is the Chief Content Officer for Palm, and Jason is a founder of Portion. So we talked about Portion on the conversation with Johnny Kaplan, so if you've not seen that, check that out. The reason why we're sitting down with these two is Palm and Portion have just announced a new partnership. And one of the things that's really interesting that we talk about in this conversation is with this relationship, things like more sustainable NFTs, easier to access drops, really emphasis on the user experience and the artist experience. We talk about how lowering the technological boundaries within the NFT space is really generating a lot of opportunities for artists. The possibilities of collaboration, of types of art experiences, of contracts, is really, it's a new frontier. So we talk with both of them about how the Palm and Portion relationship is going to help accelerate NFTs into all sorts of different art communities. So with that, I'll toss over the conversation with Matt and Jason. Jason, Matt, thanks for joining. One of the things I was really curious after reading a little bit more about the Portion and Palm relationship, partnership, and also kind of hearing kind of where both of you are coming at this new NFT space. Obviously, it's a very new and evolving community. It's a very new and evolving technology. And there's a lot of applications that are undefined. And kind of one of the things that I wrote down from this partnership, from kind of the press release, is kind of the idea of building for imagination in terms of what is this partnership able to, unlock within the art NFT community that could really kind of change the way people are perceiving what an NFT is and what they can really do with this community. So that was just kind of the first thing that caught my eye in the press release. So I don't know if Jason or Matt, if you have thoughts on that initial topic.
Well, I guess I'll start by saying I'm really just honored to be partnering with you guys. I love what you're doing. And the reason why this partnership is so powerful is because we both have something, and it's just this beautiful symbiotic relationship where we bring it together and this new thing is created. Of course, Portion has been in existence actually for like exactly 5 years now, August 2016. And the big thing now is, of course, everybody knows, is that Ethereum is so raw and gas fees are ridiculous. And it's really not that good, and I love it, but it's not that good. So when we partner with Palm, it's because they have the side chain and they have that accessibility to the future evolution of how I see Ethereum expanding. And of course, gas fees go down to nearly nothing. And that's just what we need to all create this new decentralized economy together, are exciting things like Palm to further creative expansion.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was just, it's likewise, it's an honor because Portion has been out there, they've been doing this. And it was about just the alignment of perspectives. And for us, it's just, we want to work with platforms and artists and creators that are pushing the boundaries and really thinking at a deep level about what the blockchain means as a creative medium, and how you can help creators and empower creators with this new technology. And because we're coming out of consensus, we have a sort of strong stack. We have enterprise grade technology. Our CEO Dan Heyman was leading the largest team of developers working on Ethereum 2 before founding the Palm NFT studio. And so we have that perspective, but we have this, Dan's brother, David Heyman, is the third highest grossing film producer in the world. And he's a partner in the business. Damien Hirst's manager, Joe Haig, who looks after 30% of the artists in the fine art world who make money, is a partner in the business. And I was lucky enough to be employee number one here. And it was just, I couldn't, and I spent the last year before this kind of saying no to crypto jobs because I felt very disillusioned about, it's never going to work. It's just going to calcify into more Netflixes and Spotifys, and creators are, it's not going to work out. And then NFTs just really started growing and growing and growing. Like, oh wait, this is going to happen, and had to jump on this. And then it was just sort of, okay, well, we have the tech. Like, who do we plug in? How do we get the best projects rolling and start empowering people? And of course, Portion was one of the first people we wanted to talk to.
Love it. The boundaries thing is kind of the thing I'm really curious at, because of the relationship that you're kind of blending the community with the tech, with the sustainability aspect, meaning it's a lot more scalable. Of kind of the artists that you see within the NFT community that are pushing the boundaries, what are some of the ones? What are the boundaries that you're seeing that can benefit from this partnership the most, or unlock like new frontiers within the space? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I think it's ultimately about accessibility, because right now, I mean, there's a boundary in the sense that there's a hurdle for artists around the world, particularly third world countries, where it's expensive to pay $50 gas fee to get your artwork up. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. So that sort of boundary is totally being jumped over and involved, when now any artist anywhere can hopefully just spend a few pennies, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to talk anything, Palm, that it might not be privy
That's right.
to. Pennies to create an NFT, and then all of a sudden it's about accessibility, and artists can sell their work for $15, and it'll make sense, because right now there's no artwork that's less than $50 that's really being sold, because it costs $50 in gas fees at times.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And for us, it's about, this I think is the first thing that Palm's doing that kind of adds value is helping on the gas fees and transactions and finality and eco impact and all the sort of the right now problems of Ethereum. We know those problems are going to go away at some point with Ethereum 2, and our CTO is an Ethereum 1 and 2 core dev, and Dan's sort of line of sight into this. We have a good understanding that's going to go away, and the sort of long-term vision of Palm is what we're doing now is kind of what we want to keep doing. This was a problem for Portion, it's a problem for everybody, and so all right, we can make this go away, but no one even knows what an NFT is yet, right? And so, like, what are the other tools? What are the other things that we can build? What are people going to need? Like, as someone who came up in sort of music and the creative industries, like a lot of the time technology is something you just want to get it out of the way. You want to get your idea or the way that you can convey meaning to an audience to them as directly as possible. And a lot of times technology is kind of in the way, whether that's a social network or a walled garden or something where it's like you've got to compromise your business model or how you talk to people. And there's all these ways that you can remove those boundaries with NFTs, but most artists don't know what a Solidity developer is, and they definitely don't know that half of them retired this year because they made so much money on Ethereum last year, much less that they need one if they're going to do anything. So, like, how do we plug in platforms like Portion? How do we do amazing projects with amazing artists and think about really creative uses of the blockchain? And then how do we productize that stuff as sort of tool sets on Palm, as stuff that we can create and have it be open source and have people use things? Like, our job, we think, is to just get out of everybody's way. Like, technology is always in the way. So if we can get out of the way and help people do really creative things, the world will change, because artists are always smarter than platforms or technologists, and they know their audience is better, and they've got the craziest imaginations, and we just got to get out of the way. And so that's what we're trying to do. And working with the Portion team are artists, and they're bringing together people in amazing ways. And it was just like, all right, well, we have to be here and help these guys. This is a place where we can help, but then, like, how do we keep helping long term is our sort of vision.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the key roadblocks you're seeing that artists are facing, right? Talking about wanting to get out of the way. Obviously, mentioning the gas fees is that's a key one. Is there any other, like, obviously knowledge of what an NFT is a key one, but is there anything else that you guys kind of see that we can kind of work together with to allow that imagination to really take hold of the technology as opposed to being inhibited by it?
Jason, any thoughts? I don't want to hold the mic.
It's just, I think we're all envisioning a future where people really aren't going to need to know it's on the Ethereum blockchain or on Palm, or, oh, you got to install Metamask in your Chrome browser and put a little bit of, something on there to get the gas to go through. I think that it's the whole ecosystem. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like using, like, before GUIs, before the whole screen interface, it's like using command prompt in like the 80s. And like, this is where we're at. The space is so raw and experimental. And I just guess, ultimately all the stuff that we're all building in here is looking forward to a future where people just have it, and it's on their phone, and they have their NFTs, and artists can mint something, and it just works. Just like the same way when we exchange emails, it just works, and we're not sitting around marveling at the underlying technology of how it works.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just known. It just is.
It just is. And, maybe it's on Palm, and it's on other things. Like it's just like meta chains together, and it just works. Essentially, it doesn't matter how it works.
Yeah, that's it. It should all just be. It should be invisible, and yeah, I think we need to get we haven't even got to the hard questions yet about what are NFTs or how are they useful in film and music and this creative discipline and that one, because artists aren't even at the point yet where they're understanding, not all artists, but generally, like, we're not asking those questions yet because it's still pre-GUI. Like, that's where this technology is, and the people here now are doing amazing things, but they're working with just raw components of something that will look very different in 5 years' time and 10 years' time, and eventually be invisible. And just, I don't know, the cultural implications of when it gets invisible to me are what's crazy. It's like, if you try and talk to a grown-up these days about, what's the point? I don't understand why anybody would like pay this money for a JPEG or whatever. And then you talk to a kid who spent every penny they've ever earned or had or got from their parents on skins in a video game. This is the most useful thing they've ever heard of. Mm-hmm. And the kids that come up after them, who can take their skin in a game or take their cool project from their favorite artist and stake it, and it starts earning more songs or more skins, are going to start asking questions about money, because they learnt about money through playing games and listening to their favorite band. And because blockchain was just a creative thing that they were involved with, their financial literacy is going to increase. So there's this whole like cultural layer of things that NFTs can do and ways they can impact the world that we're not even close to really thinking about what those could be yet.
Yeah. I think maybe for the broader population of people that have heard about an NFT, the only thing that they hear about is, oh, you can make a lot of money. But kind of the way you're describing it seems like there's an unimaginable impact to the way we live our lives that this could potentially have.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, I think there's going to be at some point, I think, a bifurcation of crypto art and NFTs. Like right now, they're the same thing, but everybody in the space is sort of well versed in and talks about the potential of an NFT as a marketing engagement mechanism and a receipt and a ticket and just a thing that can signify that you did something. And I think that world's coming faster than people think in terms of platforms and projects and brands and giant franchises and social networks and streaming services and gaming companies that are doing things with NFTs. And we're working with some of these people and we're doing cool stuff with them, but it's going to sort of change the pie chart of what NFTs are. And eventually that's going to change dramatically. And crypto art or NFTs that people sell for money may be a multi-trillion-dollar business, and it can still be just a sliver of all of the things that NFTs are. And that's before you've got into, well, how do you do news on the blockchain? How do you use a token curated registry to filter out fake news? Or how do you do voting? Or like, that's before you get into some of the other things outside of just entertainment. And I think that's the kind of crazy, it's a really weird time. Like, and Jason was saying, it doesn't matter if it's Palm or this blockchain or that blockchain. Like right now, there's this kind of war for content going on between like us and other L2s, where we'll talk to someone and be like, I've been offered $100 million to do this giant deal on this crypto platform. It's like, all right, well, maybe you should do that. But like, this is why you should go with us. And we don't really mind, because we need another 1,000 companies to be founded yesterday in this space to service all of the demand that's going. So we're just trying to focus on, all right, what's the coolest, just the best stuff right now? And that could be a, seismic project with a gaming company, and it can be the coolest projects in the world with someone like Portion. And so that's how we're trying to think about, let's just show the world what's possible, and then again, like, get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the best approach to get to kind of, as Jason was talking to earlier, of like, it's just on your phone, is you need the flashy, cool things to make people pay attention to the tech or the possibilities of it. So Jason, what's going on in the Portion world, with the partnership with Palm? What in your mind, what are you most excited about? Is there anything in particular that's coming up that you're amped about? Any opportunities you see with working with the Palm team?
We definitely got some really huge drops coming up with the Palm team. I know we have embargo set. I don't know if I should say anything now about it, but there's going to be news next week.
Gotcha.
I want to make sure that the all our marketing teams like really.
We're not trying to get anyone in trouble. So
I don't know what to do. I have to keep my mouth shut. Yes, Yolanda's giving me the finger there. So that's thank you for that. I almost slipped. No, we got big partnerships lined up, and it's really exciting. It's really, these partnerships are game changers. But I mean, more in a platform community sense, what we're doing with Palm is equally as exciting. And we're going to be having campaigns for artists to start minting their work on Portion, and we're going to be able to use the Portion token in unique ways, in collaboration with Palm as well.
So let me rephrase it so we don't get anyone in trouble. So one of the things that, that Matt, you said earlier, was like, oh, you need to have 1,000 of these companies doing this. And I know, just working with the Portion team, I know with just kind of the folks I've interacted with this space, everyone that's in it is super excited. So I guess whether it's a type of project with another platform, whether it's the innovation from an artist perspective, or the application from the broader kind of the pie sense, like, what are you most excited about right now with what you're doing in the space? Like, what gets you jazzed?
That's a really good question. There's too many things, and I've never, I've been around, I've lived through the birth of social and streaming and lots of things. And I've seen the creative industries always be very reticent about new technology. And that is not happening. It's the opposite. Like, companies that would kicking and streaming had to be dragged into new revenue streams in other evolutions of digital technology that tripled their market caps, are now like, oh no, we totally get it. It's social objects. They last for 10 years more. Let's go. Like, they're just in. And I think that's the most exciting thing to me, is because the NFT thing, like, nothing here was new in terms of technology. So Jason and the team were building NFTs before they were called NFTs, right? Like, Dapper Labs was doing that. I used to work at BitTorrent. We built an artificially scarce distributed digital content system within BitTorrent. We shifted 300 million legal licensed scarce torrents files in a year. They weren't called NFTs, but they were we were scratching around that. And so people have been trying to do this, and everyone's been complaining about centralized content. what happened in the last year was, for whatever reason or combination of reasons, people were just like, oh fuck, no, let's go. Like, let's actually do this. People just collectively decided to do this. That's fucking exciting. That's, sorry, I don't know if I can swear on the show, but like, yeah, I'm that excited. Like,
yeah,
I grew up doing pirate radio and then went to work at a major record label as soon as I graduated, and had this horrible like horror that the rest of the entertainment world did not work like pirate radio, which was literally you duct tape a scaffolding pole to the top of a tower block in a city and you can reach 10 million kids and get a record to the top of the charts. Like, to me, technology should be that simple, and business and entertainment should be that simple. It never has been. And now this sort of, I think that's the threat of NFTs and the opportunity. And that's the most exciting thing. It's not really this project or that project. It's just collectively creators and everyone, curators and fans are like, okay, let's do this. Let's go. And that's a social norm changing. And that's amazing.
It was outrageous how quickly it happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anything happen. I'm fortunate to have been in crypto for over a decade, and that took a long time. And like, like we've come so far, but NFTs in 1 month, my next door neighbors were talking about it, and it's just like, the way it just penetrated the crowd was just absurd. It was amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like you said, you just said that. I've heard more people talk about it in the last month or two than I had the previous 12, 24 months. And it's picking up, which is great. So people might not know exactly what an NFT is, but they're talking about it. So I feel like that's a positive thing. Exactly. Which is great. Awesome, guys. Well, short conversation, short and sweet. I'm excited for the Palm portion partnership. I think there's gonna be a lot of really cool things happening. As you guys both said, it's like, it is a really exciting time to be in this space, and we're excited to see what happens. So this is my conversation with Matt and Jason. For more information on Palm, go to palm.io. And for more information on Portion, go to portion.io. The partnership press release is available on both websites. And for more information on both Matt and Jason, check out the freshperspectivesonly.com website. I'll be building out profiles for everyone that we interview on Fresh Perspectives Only. So anything that they talked about will be linked up in those pages. If you like this episode, make sure to follow us on Spotify as well as on YouTube, and be sure to share to all of your artist friends to get the fresh perspectives every day.